Hello everybody, welcome back to our Joe's to Pros Academy SQL Server Unlocked series. It was great having a lot of feedback from you for our first few episodes. My name is Bali Kehel, with me is Rick. We will be presenting some more exciting topics in our upcoming episodes also. So today, last time, I don't know Rick, we talked about seeks and scans.
Yep, and your daughter.
And my daughter, yes. So today we'll be touching base upon performance and performance tips. So Rick will be telling us a bit more about that. Before you start with your presentation, Rick, how does performance tie in with seeks and scans?
Well, as you know, seeks and scans are, a seek is, I knew right where it was and I got it. Like let's say your wife says, honey, I'm in a hurry, just go in the grocery store and get some milk. You're not going to snake every aisle. You're going to go right to aisle 7 where the dairy is. Mm-hmm. But if you got a monthly shopping list, you're going to go through every aisle and get the things you want. That's a scan where you go up and down every aisle to get what you want. So we know that, hey, if you're not getting a whole lot of data, you've got something specific, a seek is going to be a lot more performant than a scan. We learned that in the last episode. But what times can you actually do it? When is it really in your corner to be able to make it happen for SQL Server? So I've got kind of an example. Now, the funny thing is, the concept of all types of indexing that's used in SQL Server was invented hundreds of years before SQL Server was. So we're kind of going to adapt stuff that we already know how to do. We're just going to put the technology terms on top of it. Now, I'm going to call your attention to this slide I've made for this demonstration. Now, let's say I handed you the first book I ever wrote. It was the Beginning SQL Joe's the Pros book. And it's a little one. It's a 250-pager. And I handed it to you, and I said, Bali, I'm going to give you $1 million if you can find page 1. Let's see, what am I saying? Turn to page 132 in less than a minute. Could you find page 32 in less than a minute?
I mean, that's going to be a lot of page turning for me.
Well, really? Well, let's say you turn it halfway through and you're at page 125.
Yeah, or just breaking it.
You just flip through a couple more, because you know the next page is 126, right? You're not far off. You're probably going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right. And so that won't take you very long, because you already know how books are ordered. And you're just going to go up or down based on where you're at. Well, what if I made it a little harder? I said, you know what? There is one page in my book that covers the go keyword. And I didn't tell you what page it's on. What would you do?
I would probably go to the glossary or do some reference or something, right?
Yeah, you go to the index at the back of the book. Now, if you go to the index at the back of the book, it's not going to tell you what the go keyword means. It's going to tell you to turn to a certain page. And since you know what page orders everything's in, it won't take you very long. Now, here's the one where, you know, $1 million is great. It's like the lottery. You're probably never going to win it. This is one of those examples. I actually digitized this whole book to find this example. There's one page in my book that has the word "the" 34 times in it.
All right.
Find that page.
So that's,
Can you do that in 90 seconds?
That is impossible.
No, yeah. So in the first example is the easiest one. The book is clustered, or I should say ordered. The book is in order by page number. You turn to page 130, flip 2 more, you're at 132. You already know what the next page number is before you saw it, because that's what order the book is, or that's how it's clustered. The second one is OK. I didn't give you the page number, but I showed you how to get the page number, and you were able to find it. The next one, the only way you're going to be able to find the word "the" 34 times is to read the entire page and say yes or no, and then flip the page and read the entire page. So that one is the most laborious, should we say, and the hardest work. So in this example, this is leveraging a seek off of a clustered index, which is the fastest. This one is leveraging off of a non-clustered index. A non-clustered index is a pointer to the cluster, or the order in which the data sits. And this one is just got no index. It's going to have to seek. Okay? So let me come up with an example of how we can actually speed up a query that isn't currently optimized. So in order to do that, I'm going to go back to SQL Server. And I've got 2 queries here. Now, both of them have the benefit of only wanting one record. Right? Hey, only get milk for your wife. She doesn't want anything else. Very little time in the store, right? OK, well, this first one, I think it just wants one record. Yeah, it's OK. It just wants one record. We learned about execution plans in the last episode. And this one did a seek. Bang, one record, seek. There's nothing faster than that. This one, let's see how many records we get. All right, we get 6 records. OK, that's still very selective. That's a very tiny part of this table. And the execution plan did a scan. In other words, it had to look at all thousands and thousands, in a lot of cases millions and billions of records, just to pull out the 6 instead of knowing where it was. Well, I would like to cluster this table on invoice ID, But we've already used up the clustered index. You can only have one clustered index per table. And the clustered index currently sits on invoice detail. But like your trick of finding the Go keyword, where you went to the back of the book and it told you the page number, that's a non-clustered index. You can have 1,000 of those if you want on a table.
All right.
999, I think, is the latest limit.
The upper limit? Okay.
Yeah, but who's going to need that many? So all I'm going to do is there's this code here that says create non-clustered index on this table. And I can give it whatever name I wanted. And I gave it kind of a logical name. And put it on this field in this table. Now as I run this, it's going to create a brand new index. Let's look at it. Let's go to the databases. Let's go to the JProCode database. Let's go to tables. And this one is the sales invoice detail. We go to indexes. And we have our original cluster that made the first query fast. But now we have this second one, which has the name that I just created on it. When we go back to this second query that used to do a scan, it now does a seek with a lookup, which is really fast.
All right.
The lookup is like you went to the back of the book, and then you found your page number, and then went straight to it.
Hey Rick, I think that was some really interesting demo. I think this is just the starting, right? Tip of the iceberg right here.
Yeah.
So tell us more.
Well, you know, knowing what SQL Server is up against and how it stores its data is really the architecture. And performance tuning is a strategy on top of the architecture, which is why we cover that in Volume 3, SQL Architecture and Performance.
All right, that's great. I hope you got everything which you wanted and more from the links, which Rick and we will be sharing in some of the comments down here. Do give us more feedback, some interesting topics coming up in our upcoming episodes. Join us. Until next time, thank you.